Hey guys, welcome. My name is Cassie and this is a 30-minute lower body yin yoga class. So we will be doing everything sort of in our lower body, outer hips, quads, hamstrings. It is one of three 30-minute lower body yin yoga classes that I recorded. So if you want more, feel free to take those other ones as well. And you don't need to have any props, but it is always helpful to have them in order to support your body. So I'll be using today a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, really any pillows, I would say about 2 pillows, especially thicker pillows would be great. And then I have 2 blocks as well. Again, just get creative with it. I would even gather like 3 pillows if you don't have some of these props. Especially for more the opening of the quad poses that we'll do. So to get started, we're going to create, if you do have blocks in a bolster ramp, just so it's there when we want it. You'll want to take 1 block to the middle setting, 1 block to the lower setting, just a few inches in front of it, and then place your bolster on top so it makes a ramp. And just make sure that it's nice and secure so the bottom is actually touching the ground. Again, you can just stack a few pillows behind you. And then we're going to begin in a Baddha Konasana, or a butterfly pose. So bring the soles of your feet together and take a little bit of space between your hips and your heels so you have more of a diamond shape. And then go ahead and just fold forward and start to walk your arms forward. And then just let your head drop. And then if you do want some more support, you can undo that bolster ramp and just instead bring that bolster pillow underneath your head. And then begin to take deeper breaths here. And take an inhale through your nose. And then open up your mouth, sigh it out. Allowing the audible sound of your breath to connect you deeper to the fact that you are breathing and bring your focus from the external, from whatever you did prior to this class, into now. Just gifting yourself these 30 minutes to release. Soften through all the muscles in your face. Sometimes I like to open and close my jaw just to release tension there. And let your shoulders release, creating space between your ears and your traps. And then find stillness. Create stillness by resolving to just be in the pose. Nothing more, nothing less. And with yin yoga, it takes time for our connective tissues, the fascia, to open up. So just trust as you hold the pose, you'll start to go a little deeper. Not striving for anything. Simply showing up as you are. And gradually use your hands to lift your chest up. And just a little bit. And we'll take it over to the right side. You can either frame your knee or bring both arms in front, just your preference. I like to frame mine. And drop right back over, making sure that you're not allowing your left hip to hike up. Keep both hips grounded. You can let your head hang, or maybe you're able to let your head touch a part of your leg. If not, it does not matter at all. It's not about, again, trying to get to some specific pose or a goal to touch your nose to your whatever part of you. And the goal is to soften.
taking slightly deeper breaths here. You'll feel the stretch in the lower left side of your back as well as your hips. And then lift it up just enough to walk your body over towards your left shin. Got a little crack in my back there. Again, you can frame your knee with your arms if that feels good. Aim to stay grounded in your right hip. Relax through the shoulders, even though I know sometimes you have to kind of do a little bit of work so you don't just fall over here. Just do as little work as possible. Your hands back through center. And slowly lift yourself up. Coming out of the pose is just as important as being in the pose. Use your hands to close your knees. And we're going to come into a half saddle pose, which I know for many people is one of, I'd say, the most challenging poses. So definitely be gentle on your body here. Start by taking your right ankle and bend it by your hip. You want to then lift up and adjust your hips to find both sits bones, so both part of your hips on the ground and your knee facing forward. If sitting like this, your knee is jetting out to the side or it bothers your knee, dismantle your props and just take a block or 2 blocks and go ahead and sit up on it, and this will be your pose today. So 1 block or 2. Otherwise, if you feel okay sitting on the floor here, take my bolster ramp back. You can go ahead, stay as you are, or begin to recline backwards onto that ramp. As always, if you have a ponytail that's preventing the back of your head from resting, make some space. Turn your palms up and drop into the pose. Your left knee can stay bent, or you might want to extend that left leg forward. Of course, if you want to take it deeper without the bolster and blocks, be my guest. You're welcome to go all the way back. Scan your body, even if you're sitting up, for where you can soften. Start with your face, your head, your fingers. Be willing to give up the identity that you are so tight and that you can't do a specific pose, and
And trade that for curiosity. What's available when you let go and listen to what is today? Being mindful coming out of the pose. Use your hands by your side, tuck your chin to your chest, slowly lift up. And release your leg. You can take your feet out as wide as your mat and just windshield wiper side to side. And then as you're ready, come into the other side, and you might find that it might be a very big difference, especially when it comes to our hips. One always tends to be tighter. So bending your heel, you're not actually sitting on your heel, it's right next to your hip. And I like to lift my hips up to find my sits bones. Think of slightly drawing your tailbone forward. Now to evaluate this side, any discomfort in your knee, elevate your hips with blocks, or choose to go back. Can take your arms to the side if you're going back, and again, that right knee can stay bent or extended in front of you. Return to your breath. And exhale guides you to soften. If there's a force pulling you down to your mat, as you find yourself drifting into thoughts, bring yourself back. Each time reducing the time between the drifting off to thought and the noticing that you're drifting. All of that is a part of mindfulness. Bring your awareness back to the feeling of the floor beneath your body. And ease washing over you, melting tension. And seeing if you can just notice those thoughts as they come up. Observe them. Observe them without attaching onto them and letting your mind run away. Notice a thought. And return back to your body, letting go. And use your hands to lift you up on this side. Take your time to release your foot, release your leg. And then again, you can just let your knees fall from side to side, release your hips. And from here, we'll come into caterpillar pose. It should feel nice for the backs of your knees and hamstrings. So you can extend your legs in front of you. And take your bolster. I like to make now what's called a bolster bridge by bringing my blocks to either sides of my legs and taking the bolster on top. And some people prefer to bring the bolster a long ways, and again, bolster pillow as well, just forward onto their body. Can do this without props as well, just fold forward. The benefit of that bridge is your forehead can perhaps rest on it without like suffocating your nose and your mouth. It's giving it some space. And yin, we relax all of our muscles. Relax your feet. Don't worry about flexing them. And then there's no exacts in the poses. If you want to release your arms under, over, that's your choice. It's part of the experiment. Notice if your shoulders are hiking up to your ears. Can you let them go? Even if an outsider might not perceive a big difference, you can feel that dropping, softening around your neck muscles, and creating space between your teeth. Know that you don't have to go to the deepest part of your stretch. It can be nice to back off a little and find a place where you can relax completely. I always find by doing that, then naturally I do just go deeper.
Start to lift your body using your hands, your arms, head coming up last. And take your props off to the side and come all the way down onto your back. And keep your bolster, pillow, or block handy. And we're going to come into supported bridge pose. Start by bending your knees and lift your hips up and bringing any one of your props or pillows underneath your low back. And maybe you try one prop and find that you like a different one. And it just depends. Some people like a firmer surface. I like somewhere in the middle. And you want to feel grounded through your hips and low back, so you're not holding or trying to lift yourself up in any way. And start with your hands toward your belly or ribs, elbows relaxed. And allowing your breath to rise and fall into your hands. A tangible feedback from your hands to notice how you're breathing. And rather than taking active breaths where you're trying to control them and take the deepest breaths, see instead if you can just follow your breath. Let it guide you. Naturally, that inhale comes, ride it all the way up. And the exhale comes and it pulls your body down with it, letting go. And because we're targeting the lower body, start to straighten your legs, getting a stretch through the front of your hips. If this bothers your lower back, you can return to the bent knee position. If you like your hands on your belly here, keep them. Otherwise, they can come out to the side or even overhead. Scan your body. And drop even deeper. Like the layers are peeling off, peeling back. And at some point you might even feel a vibration going through your body. To come out, start by bringing your arms down if they're overhead, and bend your legs one at a time, feet connecting to the ground. And then push into your feet, lift your hips to remove your prop. And then lower all the way down, coming into your final Shavasana. Let your legs roll open. And close your eyes, allowing your body to absorb the practice. Encourage you to stay here as long as you want today. And if you need to come out, bend your knees, roll into a fetal pose on your right side. And use your hands to lift you up. And bring your hands to your heart center. Always closing off our practice by acknowledging ourselves for taking this time of self-care. If there's another intention or focus you want to set for the remainder of your day, say it to yourself here. Keep it at the forefront of your mind when things get busy. And take a deep breath in. Let it go. And bowing to yourself and each other. Namaste.